Beware the subtle shadows that linger in your life. Some people are more than just difficult, they carry a hidden darkness that quietly erodes your spirit. Not every negative presence is a demon, yet some souls are drawn to disrupt, manipulate, and drain the very energy that fuels your growth. Their influence is silent but powerful, and if left unnoticed, it can shape your thoughts, emotions, and decisions without you realizing it. Throughout history, sages and monks have warned of those who move through the world not to uplift, but to weaken. Shaolin teachings speak of energy, clarity, and presence, tools to sense what hides behind masks of charm, concern, or friendship. Ancient masters understood that discernment is not born from fear, but from observation, stillness, and deep awareness. They taught that the ability to detect destructive energy is as vital as mastering the body or mind. In this video, you will uncover 6 hidden signs that reveal when someone in your life is more than just harmful. They are a true demon in energy. These are not the obvious traits you see in stories or warnings. These are subtle, profound, and often overlooked. You will learn how to read patterns, sense emotional manipulation, and protect your energy before it is drained. You will discover lessons that blend ancient Shaolin wisdom with modern understanding of personal mastery, guiding you to act with clarity rather than reaction. Stay with me until the end, because recognizing these signs can change how you relate to everyone around you. You will walk away with knowledge that guards your spirit, strengthens your mind, and sharpens your intuition. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, a place where ancient wisdom meets real-life insight. Subscribe now and awaken the power within to see clearly, act wisely, and preserve the energy that fuels your path. There are those who walk beside you smiling, yet their gaze lingers on the cracks in your spirit. They notice the moments when your courage falters, when doubt whispers in your mind, and when your heart aches from past wounds. These are the ones who do not offer support. They feed on the gaps you carry within. In every human energy, there are weaknesses, and real demons instinctively sense them, like predators attuned to the faintest vibration in the forest. Shaolin masters teach that awareness of your own energy is sacred. Every thought, every emotion, and every fear carries weight. When you are unguarded, the energy that belongs to you is vulnerable to being siphoned. Those who drain it are not aligned with your growth. They are drawn to consume rather than to uplift. A subtle comment, a disguised criticism, or a calculated act of guilt can chip away at your vitality over time. The harm is quiet, almost invisible, yet persistent, like water slowly wearing down stone. Mindfulness is your shield. Observe how certain people make you feel in repeated encounters. Do you leave conversations feeling smaller, anxious, or uncertain of yourself? These patterns are rarely accidental. Emotional manipulation often comes clothed in concern or friendly advice, but beneath it lies a force that seeks to tether you to weakness. Awareness is not about suspicion, but clarity. Notice the rhythm of interactions, the repeated nudges that pull you toward self-doubt, the moments where your energy feels borrowed and never returned. By watching carefully, by sensing with intention, you begin to see the invisible threads that connect their words to your vulnerabilities. You learn to step back, not in anger, but in wisdom. Energy is life, and those who feed on weakness cannot exist where clarity and self-mastery are cultivated. The first lesson is always this: recognize the hunger, understand its source, and honor the energy that is yours alone. Truth is fragile, like mist rising from a still pond at dawn. Some souls move through life not to reveal clarity, but to blur the edges, twisting facts until reality feels uncertain. They speak with conviction, yet their words carry subtle distortions, half-truths woven into stories meant to destabilize the mind. Over time, these small fractures accumulate, leaving the heart uneasy and the spirit restless, as if the ground beneath has shifted without warning. Shaolin wisdom teaches that observation is more than seeing. It is sensing with precision. The mind must be trained to remain calm, to separate the surface noise from the currents underneath. A single moment of agitation allows distortion to take root, but a disciplined mind, grounded in awareness, can detect the hidden patterns. Clarity is cultivated, not demanded. It grows from patient observation and the quiet refusal to accept confusion as truth. Personal mastery begins when one learns to discern lies, not through suspicion alone, but through alignment with intuition. The body, mind, and spirit respond to untruth in ways subtle yet undeniable: a tightening of the chest, a flicker of unease, a hesitation in response. Listening to these signals requires restraint and focus. Impulse clouds judgment, calm attention reveals it. Ancient teachings remind that clarity is a fortress. When the mind remains centered, the distortions of others cannot penetrate. They may twist words, spin stories, or manipulate perception, but their power is limited to the untrained mind. By cultivating stillness and observing without judgment, one begins to see the truth clearly, even when it is hidden behind layers of deceit. The practice is simple yet demanding. Remain grounded, observe deeply, trust the quiet wisdom within, and let clarity illuminate the shadows of confusion. There are people whose presence feels heavy, as if the air itself grows thick when they are near. Conversations with them leave the body tense, the mind restless, and the spirit quietly depleted. Often there is no clear cause, no harsh words, no visible conflict, but the energy around them pulls at your own, leaving subtle traces of exhaustion that linger long after they have gone. Shaolin teachings remind us that energy is sacred, a force to be respected and guarded. Every thought, emotion, and action consumes a part of this life force. When energy is drained repeatedly, clarity fades, intuition dulls, and resilience weakens. The masters speak of qi not as an abstract concept, but as the essence of vitality that flows through disciplined practice, mindful living, and careful attention to one's surroundings. To allow it to be siphoned is to weaken the foundation upon which both spirit and mastery rest. Mindfulness becomes a shield. By pausing to observe how interactions affect the body and mind, one learns to recognize the subtle signs of energy depletion. Notice the tightness in the chest, the creeping fatigue, or the sudden drop in focus. Track these feelings before, during, and after engagements. Patterns emerge in time, revealing who nourishes your growth and who diminishes it. Inner mastery calls for discipline, not avoidance born of fear, but careful stewardship of one's vitality. Boundaries are the practice of respect for self and energy. To step away when necessary, to limit engagement with those who drain without thought, is not rejection but protection. The ancient path teaches that strength is cultivated quietly, in stillness, in conscious choice, and in the understanding that energy cannot be shared recklessly. Guarding it is not selfish, it is sacred. Those who respect their qi create space for clarity, focus, and the calm power that guides the path of mastery. Some souls cannot bear to see others rise. They speak with smiles, yet their words carry invisible chains, subtle discouragements, and quiet criticisms meant to tether growth. Every step towards self-improvement, every practice of mindfulness, every pursuit of wisdom is met with resistance, disguised as concern or jest. Their presence makes the path feel heavier, the journey longer, as if every forward step requires double the effort. Shaolin teachings remind that growth is sacred, the lifeblood of mastery. The path of self-cultivation, physical, mental, and spiritual, is not merely a personal endeavor, it is the alignment of energy, discipline, and awareness. Those who attempt to block this growth reveal hidden agendas, born not of friendship but of fear, fear of being overshadowed, fear of their own inadequacies reflected in another's progress. Ancient masters observed that such forces are like weeds in a cultivated garden. They seek the sunlight without nurturing the soil, and in doing so, they stifle life around them. Personal mastery demands patience and unwavering focus. The mind must learn to differentiate between genuine advice and subtle sabotage. Reflection and mindfulness allow one to discern intention without reaction. Discipline becomes the compass, staying committed to the path even when others attempt to sway, distract, or belittle. Growth cannot flourish in hesitation. It requires persistence, clarity, and the courage to honor one's own journey. The wise understand that resistance from others is not a reflection of your worth, but a mirror of their own limitations. By maintaining dedication to learning, meditation, and self-refinement, one strengthens not only skill and knowledge, but energy, resilience, and insight. The journey continues not with bitterness toward those who resist, but with steady steps along the path of enlightenment, guided by clarity, discipline, and the quiet power of inner mastery. There are those who speak with words of guidance, yet their intent is veiled. They offer advice, share opinions, or point out flaws, but beneath the surface lies a quiet resistance to your growth. Every effort to learn, to practice, to deepen understanding is met with subtle undermining, an uneasy joke, a dismissive remark, a question that plants doubt. Their energy does not seek elevation. It seeks to tether, to prevent the natural unfolding of your wisdom. Shaolin teachings illuminate the importance of growth as the path to mastery. To cultivate the body, the mind, and the spirit is to honor the very rhythm of life. Those who obstruct this journey reveal themselves not through grand acts, but in quiet, persistent ways. Their interference is a reflection of fear, envy, or stagnation, a mirror of the limitations they carry within. Ancient masters observed that such forces are like shadows along the path. They cannot endure the light of awareness and discipline, yet they attempt to divert the traveler with subtle distractions. Inner mastery requires discernment. Observe the patterns rather than isolated moments. Recognize when concern is genuine and when it is a cloak for control. Mindfulness allows you to feel the energy behind words, to detect when guidance is constructive and when it serves another agenda. Discipline strengthens the resolve to remain on the path, even when the voice of opposition is gentle and persuasive. The wise understand that self-improvement is sacred and non-negotiable. Learning, meditation, reflection, and practice cannot be surrendered to the discomfort or resistance of others. By cultivating awareness and remaining anchored in your purpose, you continue to grow despite external attempts to hinder you. Every step taken in clarity and persistence strengthens not only skill and understanding, but also the inner resilience that cannot be shaken by subtle manipulation. Growth, once protected and nurtured, becomes a force that cannot be diminished by those who fear its light. Some encounters stir the heart with sudden turbulence. Words, gestures, or even the silence of certain individuals can ignite anger, fear, or jealousy that feels disproportionate to the moment. These are not accidents. Real demons understand the power of emotion. They provoke it intentionally, knowing that an unguarded mind can be swayed, clouded, or led astray. The reactions they awaken are subtle traps meant to pull focus away from clarity and towards chaos. Shaolin masters teach that emotions are signals, not commands. Anger flares, fear tightens the chest, and envy gnaws at the mind. All these sensations carry messages about the environment and the energy around you. To react impulsively is to hand power over to another. To observe calmly is to reclaim it. Mindfulness allows one to witness emotional surges without surrendering to them, to trace the origin of the disturbance rather than be swept away. Detachment is not indifference. It is clarity born of discipline. It is the ability to see beyond the surface, to perceive the hidden intentions behind provocation, and to respond from a place of grounded awareness rather than instinctive reaction. Ancient wisdom teaches that emotional triggers are mirrors. They reflect both the nature of the other and the unexamined corners of your own mind. The skill lies in observing without being consumed, in understanding without being manipulated. Inner mastery is cultivated in these moments. Each surge of unwanted emotion is an opportunity to practice restraint, to strengthen focus, and to deepen awareness of self and surroundings. Those who provoke are powerless against the mind anchored in stillness. By maintaining calm, observing clearly, and responding with measured thought, the invisible influence of manipulation fades. The power of clarity transforms potential chaos into insight, allowing the path to remain steady even in the presence of deliberate disturbance. Some people carry a constant need to shift the weight of their actions onto others. They speak with certainty, yet their words are hollow of responsibility. Mistakes are never theirs. Faults belong to those around them. Over time, this habit of evasion becomes a pattern, a subtle manipulation of perception that can leave others doubting themselves, questioning their judgment and shouldering burdens that were never theirs to bear. Shaolin wisdom teaches that clarity and self-responsibility are pillars of mastery. A disciplined mind does not absorb the chaos of blame. It observes and discerns. Recognizing patterns of projection is essential. When someone consistently deflects accountability, it reveals not only their avoidance but also the underlying intent to control or destabilize. Ancient masters would see such behavior as a reflection of imbalance, a lack of inner alignment that seeks to impose disorder outwardly rather than cultivate harmony within. Personal mastery requires vigilance and restraint. It is not about confrontation for its own sake, but about awareness. When the mind can distinguish between truth and manipulation, it refuses to be drawn into narratives that are not its own. Observing without attachment allows one to respond with calm authority rather than react impulsively to the blame placed before them. Energy is preserved, clarity is maintained, and the subtle erosion of spirit is prevented. This practice is a quiet discipline. Each moment of observation, each refusal to internalize another's projected fault, strengthens inner resilience. Over time, the clarity gained through consistent mindfulness transforms interactions. You begin to see not just the words spoken, but the intentions hidden within them. Those who manipulate through blame cannot dominate a mind rooted in self-mastery. Awareness and detachment become shields, and the path of personal growth remains steady, unshaken by the attempts of others to distort reality and evade responsibility. Sometimes the damage is invisible, unfolding quietly like a slow river eroding stone. Words are whispered, confidence subtly undermined, and dependence cultivated with gentle persistence. These acts leave no immediate wound, yet over time they shape the mind, the heart, and the spirit in ways that are deeply destabilizing. The harm is indirect, yet relentless, slipping in unnoticed while the surface appears calm. Shaolin teachings remind us that energy once diminished is not easily restored. Small leaks, if left unattended, grow into fractures that weaken the foundation of clarity, focus, and resilience. Every unguarded thought, every moment of absorbed negativity chips away at the strength cultivated through discipline, mindfulness, and practice. Ancient masters understood that vigilance is not about fear, but about maintaining the integrity of the self, protecting what is sacred, unseen, and vital. Mindfulness offers a path to awareness. Observe the cumulative effects of interactions rather than judging each moment in isolation. Notice how repeated doubts, subtle criticisms, or manipulative gestures slowly shift the sense of self. The body responds first: fatigue, tension, unease. The mind follows with hesitation, self-doubt, and distraction. By tracking these patterns over time, one can see the hidden currents of influence that would otherwise remain invisible. Inner mastery requires consistent attention and discipline. The wise do not wait for catastrophe to arise. They recognize the early signs and respond with clarity and boundary. Protection of energy is not reactive, it is proactive, cultivated through steady observation, self-respect, and the commitment to preserve one's vitality. In this way, the small, quiet attempts to erode confidence lose their power. The mind, rooted in clarity, remains resilient, and the spirit continues to grow undisturbed. Even the subtlest manipulations cannot penetrate a consciousness that has learned to watch, discern, and protect itself. There are those who seem to hold a mirror up to your soul, reflecting parts of yourself you rarely see. But unlike a true reflection meant for growth, these mirrors distort and fracture what they reveal. They amplify fears, magnify insecurities, and awaken desires that, when left unchecked, pull you toward confusion or harm. Their reflection is not guidance, it is a trap designed to provoke reaction, doubt, and weakness. Ancient wisdom teaches that shadows exist within all of us. They are the unexamined thoughts, the hidden fears, the quiet desires that linger beneath awareness. The path of mastery is not to deny these shadows, but to recognize them and understand their nature. When others reflect them back destructively, it is a test of discernment to see what belongs to you and what is projected with intent to manipulate. Shaolin insight emphasizes observation and stillness. Only a calm mind can separate truth from illusion, self from the reflection imposed by another. Personal mastery begins with awareness of triggers. Notice the moments when anger, fear, or longing arises disproportionately. Ask quietly, is this a shadow of my own, or is it being stirred by someone else? By tracking these responses, the mind learns to distinguish between internal lessons and external manipulation. Discipline allows these reflections to become tools for understanding rather than weapons of control. Not every mirror points toward growth. Some are cleverly disguised snares, designed to keep energy trapped and wisdom obscured. The wise neither ignore nor overreact. They observe, learn, and maintain a grounded center. By recognizing the difference between authentic guidance and deceptive reflection, one preserves clarity, protects vitality, and deepens insight. In this practice, shadows lose their power over the mind, and inner mastery grows, steady and unshaken, even in the presence of those who would seek to exploit what lies hidden within. In life, the presence of harmful energy is not a call to fear, but a reminder to remain aware and protect what is sacred within you. Recognizing these influences allows you to preserve your clarity, your focus, and your peace of mind. Shaolin teachings, combined with mindfulness and personal mastery, provide the tools to discern truth from deception, to safeguard your energy, and to navigate relationships with wisdom and calm. Observe carefully, listen to your intuition, and act with clarity rather than impulse. Each moment of awareness strengthens your inner resilience and ensures that your growth continues unhindered, even in the presence of those who may seek to drain or destabilize you. The practice of discernment is not about judgment. It is about honoring your path and maintaining harmony within. Carry these lessons into your daily life. Protect your energy, cultivate stillness, and respond with measured awareness. The power to remain steady and strong is always within reach, guided by discipline, reflection, and the quiet strength of your spirit. If this message resonates, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets the practice of personal mastery. Let these teachings guide you toward a life of clarity, calm, and enduring inner peace.